Welcome to another episode of It's a Long Beach Thing. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and like us on It's a Long Beach Thing on our Facebook group. We have another great show for you today. We have council member from the 3rd District, Kristina Duggan, with us today. Kristina, how are you today?
I am doing great. And we can start by saying Kristina dug in.
Again, oh, I apologize.
No, that's okay. It's one of those things when you have two G's, it's Duggan.
Duggan, great. Yeah, well, my last name, everybody wants to say it's Forcione, but it's actually Fortune. So
Oh,
I feel your pain when somebody mispronounces your last name.
Fortune. I love it. I will remember that.
Okay, cool. Cool. Well, let's dive in, shall we?
Absolutely.
All right. So what's your association with this great city of Long Beach?
Well, funny enough, I was born here in Long Beach. I was born at Memorial Hospital, and I moved when I was very young, but then my husband and I moved back in 99, and I had my two children at Memorial. So that's kind of the start, being born here. But when my husband and I moved back here, it was truly, the community here is amazing. I think I met the most people the first couple of years because I walk my dog. And I would walk through Belmont Shore, Belmont Park, and we would play in Marina Vista Park. And my dog may have been, yeah, off leash sometimes, but most of the time on leash. And really, that was my community with neighbors, and we connected because of our dogs. That was to start.
That was the start. So did you move out before you went to like high school and then move back, or when did you move
Yes,
out?
I moved. I moved when I was probably 3 to Simi Valley, and then I went to. We then moved to Riverside. I went to UC Riverside, and I went to graduated from UCR, but in the meantime, I had moved to Utah and gone to the University of Utah, and then I moved to Orange County and made my way up to Long Beach in '99.
So you say you were born in Memorial. So then that means your parents lived in Long Beach for a little bit, I'm assuming, correct?
They did. I have some generational roots. In Artesia, I have a family there that I mean, they were born in the late 1800s, and I had a family member in I don't know if it was the 40s or 50s, but on Argonne in Belmont Shore, they had a market below where they lived. So it was a long time ago, but I have some real roots with my family here in Long
That's
Beach.
that's great. So then is that kind of why you came back to Long Beach, because of your roots, or did you have an opportunity to come back, or how'd that all come
No,
about?
so I think, well, my husband and I met when we both lived in Seal Beach, and then we just saw Belmont Shore as such a beautiful community. My husband's office, he had started an office there in 1992 off of Naples Plaza, so we were familiar with the area. And I mean, it's hard to not want to live in Belmont Shore, right?
Not at all. So you when you said Orange County, I didn't know where you were talking about. So it sounds like you were next door. You were in the Seal Beach area.
I was pretty close, but I had lived in Newport, Huntington. I made my way up, you know,
Right on.
and I best in Long Beach.
Okay, cool. So then you decided to go into the Belmont Shore area, and I believe you have a psychology degree, correct, from Riverside?
Yes, I have a bachelor's in psychology from the UC Riverside. But I'm more of a business person.
Hmm.
So my husband and I run our business, Dr. Duggan and Associates, and I really run the operations, the accounting, contracts, HR, and my husband's a psychologist and he runs the clinical side of things.
Now, when did you guys start the business together then?
No, he started it before I even had met him.
Oh, okay.
So yes, we met in 1995. and we just celebrated the 29th anniversary of our first date earlier in June.
Right on, right
Yeah.
on. So then with your background, and your husband obviously a doctorate in the industry, you're like, how did that come about where he brought you on to help with the business side of things?
Oh, because I was always telling him what to do and how to make it better. No, I actually bought my first business in 1995. So I owned a tour company. So I would take kids skiing and snowboarding, 350 of them. So I really was focused on business from a very young age. I then went into doing mortgages, and after 2008, my kids were little. So I have two kids, and I decided that I needed to move to something that was not so time consuming. I needed to be with the kids, help run the business. So that's when he and I started working together.
So 2008, so you were in the mortgage business in 2008?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was in the mortgage business in 2008, and that was a tough time to be in the mortgage industry in 2008.
Yes.
Nobody was doing loans anymore. The mortgage-backed
Nope.
securities, they looked at what they were buying and they didn't like it, so they stopped buying it. And as a result, the banks had to really tighten up their guidelines, and it was hard to get a loan at that time.
Absolutely. It was tough because basically when you work for a broker, as you probably know, you run your own business.
Yep.
And I had a 2 and a 4-year-old, and it was a lot. I will say, working in the mortgage industry was my favorite job ever. It was great. It was great. But my kids, who are now, by the way, 17 and 19, they were more important, obviously, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're working with your husband, running the
Yep.
business side of things at that time. When did it kind of start to transition, going, you know what, I think I want to be a public servant?
So interestingly enough, I'm running, our office, working with the kids, and I had an opportunity to work for the city of Long Beach. So in 2014, I became the field deputy for a council member, and I got a taste of what the city of Long Beach, the government side, really is like. I worked for about 2 years, and I then decided that it was, again, my kids were young, and so I couldn't do the job. And I decided I need to find something else. I moved back to working almost full time at my husband's business, which when I was working full time for the city, I also was running the accounting at my own business. So it was a lot. It was a lot. But so that was my taste. I developed relationships with people back then in 2014, 2015. So fast forward 2021, 22, when I knew that this council seat for District 3 was opening up, I said, you know what? I'm going to take it right back. My kids are at that age where they're driving. They're at the point where they're going to fly the coop, and I wanted to make a difference for my community.
That had been a kind of a tough transition as far as campaigning, right? I mean, you're in the business side of things. I'm sure you've never campaigned before. So talk about that, because that's got to be a learning curve.
Deep breath, because I think of 2022, and wow, that was a really, really tough year. It was, the learning curve is not like this, it is like this, and you have to be on your game and learn about so many things where you really don't know anything about what you're trying to share with people. But there's almost 50,000 residents in District 3, and I walked with my husband, my sister, and friends, and we hit the whole district. It was great, knocking on doors, meeting people. One of the things that I did when I stopped doing loans is I started teaching indoor rowing classes. I'm a rower, so I would be on the water and I'd go teach classes, and knocking door to door, I met so many people I had taught how to row over the years. And it really, between my dog friends, when I, walking the dog, my rowing friends I had met, all the work that I had done at Colorado Lagoon Playgroup for preschool, and then Lowell, and then Rogers, because that's where my kids all went. It was amazing. It was amazing how many people I actually did know. And then my husband is well known in the community just because he does a really good, he's a great psychologist, and he was my biggest supporter. I mean, biggest champion, and pretty darn funny when he would walk up to the door and say, I'm working for my wife. It was very cute, very cute. People remember that.
Well, I'm sure you got into a flow of door knocking, but I'm sure the first couple doors that you knocked on, that had been a little nerve-wracking for you, not, right?
It was intimidating for sure. And you don't know how people are going to react. And frankly, there were 6 of us running for that primary election. And that's a lot of people running for a district. But thanks to my sales experience, door to door, it worked out. It only took a couple days of door knocking to understand what it takes. And really it comes down to what people want to be heard about, what their concerns are. And if you get down to it, not politics of it, but the day-to-day, what are you really worried about? And what do you really want help with? And I think that's where it's really great to be able to know so many people, and they can text me or ask me so many questions.
And from doing that door knocking and finding that theme, what were the people, or are the people in District 3 kind of worried about as far as the day-to-day is concerned?
Well, it's interesting because it is really, they're worried about crime, homelessness, and they want their streets fixed and their potholes filled. And it wasn't necessarily potholes in 2022, because I think at that time it wasn't raining as much, but people want their streets and curbs fixed. Mm-hmm. And the theme has not changed. We have to focus on those. And frankly, that's why I'm here today at the Emergency Operations Center, because we have new dispatchers who just graduated. And those dispatchers are the people who are answering 911 and the non-emergency. And so I wanted to appreciate them, and they're important to running our city. And when people are worried, they're the ones that they're calling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, talk about crime and homelessness and such. And
yes.
And I know that Long Beach, it's part of a big city, and that is something that the whole state struggles with, is homelessness. It's not just a Long Beach thing. It's all over the state, all over the nation, frankly.
It is.
What small things can we do as a community to help those type of problems of homelessness?
So with homelessness, I think it's important that people understand you do have to call 911, but people need to understand the difference between 911 as an emergency and calling the non-emergency line, which you may be put on hold, but please, they need to be patiently waiting to record an issue that they are having. Because if we don't have record of it, we can't put resources out. As a council member, it's what I am trying to educate residents to know. Please, that documentation is the way we know there's a problem. And I know people are frustrated. They're fatigued with seeing the same thing and feeling like they perceive that officers aren't doing anything. Officers are doing so much, but there are also issues with vacancies. So officers can only do so much within the boundary of the law. And gosh, there's so much. This is such a deep subject. But for residents themselves, we need you to call 911 if it's a urgent emergency. Like if your life is being threatened or if you're at an accident, call the non-emergency. If you see that someone is in, they're homeless and something has gone wrong, but it's not an emergency. There's got to be more education about the difference, and then the patients to call that non-emergency line.
So basically, if it's not an immediate danger on yourself,
yes,
if there's something going on, you would probably call the non-emergency number. And if something were to happen where we need assistance,
life-threatening,
it's threatening, then that's when you would call 911 instead, correct?
100%. And what I am so grateful for with Long Beach Police Department right now is if people see that a crime has been made, they can call the non-emergency line and they can have someone come out and do a report. And you know what? I wish I knew for sure, but I think that they are coming up with a way to do reports online. So then there can be a recording and you can have a case number and it can be documented. So I apologize. I don't have that information right on the top of my head, but I could probably go out there and get an officer and find out.
Well, we'll by that time we'll figure it out. As far as the online, we'll post that information if they can do it online, because that would be handy if they could just do it on their phone real quick and
absolutely
document on that.
But always knowing that you can actually have a non-sworn officer, staff person come out and take that report. That relieves sworn officers from having to do things like take reports.
Yeah, absolutely. For people that might not know, what's the boundaries of District 3?
Oh, so it is from the Orange County, LA County border.
So like Seal Beach?
Seal Beach, yes. And then you would go up 7th Street. So it's the coastline.
So Belmont Shore, Ocean
right?
Boulevard. Okay.
Orange County, LA County line up to where it turns into Westminster, Studebaker,
okay,
to 7th Street, 7th Street to Pacific Coast Highway, Pacific Coast Highway north to Redondo, and Redondo down to the ocean.
Do you have Anaheim? Is Anaheim?
Yes, part of it. Yes, okay. Yes.
Okay.
It got redistricted, so
yeah,
Anaheim used to be the 4th district.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Belmont Shore, because I don't know if it was before. I can't remember when it was, but before COVID or probably after COVID, there was a time where, like, on one side of the street, everything was for lease. It was for lease. It was for lease, and it made me feel nervous. And especially because I think it had been before COVID, because it was right around the time PCH and Second opened up, and I believe they opened up before COVID. And so a lot of shops were going in there. And at the time, Belmont Shore on one side of the street was all for lease. And I'm like worried, but I've seen in the last few years a lot of businesses go in, and I'm very relieved about that, because I love Belmont Shore. I grew up going to Belmont Shore, and I want Belmont Shore to continue to thrive. So talk about the changes there on businesses going in, because I was, like I said, I was a little worried that they were leaving.
It is unbelievable in Belmont Shore on 2nd Street. Their vacancy rate, there are so few vacancies on 2nd Street right now. And we've gotten new new shops like treats. Oh my gosh. And I should have made a list of all the new businesses. Last week I did a ribbon cutting for Chapter 2 Coffee. But since you're an old timer for Belmont Shore, my girlfriend Nikki Claire owns George's Greek Cafe, and that is still there. We have Taco Shore, but we have so many new businesses that are amazing. And I should have gotten a list of all the ribbon cuttings I've done in the past 6 months, because we're lucky to have so many thriving businesses coming into the shore. Yes, Second and PCH opened December of 2019. That was tough before COVID, but they're thriving. They're doing a great job with all of their businesses too. And you know what? Another corridor, and you mentioned Anaheim. They are doing such a great job up there. They truly are. I never really, before I became the council member, that wasn't really an area that I would go to, a pub or anything. It has so many wonderful places to go up there. Port City Tavern is great to go in, and they have a great patio and things like that.
Yeah, I live, that's what I think it's called the Zaferia district. I live
Yes.
by Port City there. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
there
why
you
I said
go.
Anaheim, because I was wondering, I thought you guys redistrict and you had it there where the Long Beach Playhouse is up
Yes.
towards Redondo, right? So you got Round and Third, and then you got Long Beach Beer Lab that just came in
Yes.
on
Yes.
Anaheim and Examino. And I agree with you. There has been a kind of a renaissance of that area, and shops coming in that weren't there before. Kind of a probably like the locals, probably like to go to a place like that because outside of Long Beach, people know about Belmont Shore, but a lot of people don't know about the Zaferia unless you are from
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's why I was so happy to see all the different places. I walked with Marisa, the executive director of Zaferia Bid, and truly she showed me all these great places, and I was just so happy to meet some of the owners, and of course, Port City's pretty cool, and the library's there. That's what also got me over there at
Okay. Yeah.
Brewitt Library.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you friends with the owner of Port City, Dylan Davis?
I am not. I've
Okay.
just been there, and he's
Okay.
hosted one of my neighborhood association meetings there. But now I'm going to go meet him.
Oh, right on. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Let's talk about the big project that's going on in the Colorado Lagoon. Since you said that you actually you worked at the co-op there. My mom worked at the co-op there in the 80s.
No way.
Yeah.
Was she the teacher?
She was the teacher. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My children were there. Lagoon Play. So were you at Lagoon Playgroup
I
then?
was. Yep. I was there too.
You're
Yeah.
an alumni
I
of
am
Lagoon
alumni there. Yeah.
Playgroup. Well, so are my kids, and some of the best memories when my kids were little were at the co-op, and just so enjoyable. And it still has the sailboat shop there in the summer.
So
you know that the summer camp.
They can build the boats still there.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's
yes.
awesome.
Yeah, and that is really fun for the kids too. But Lagoon Playgroup, what a great preschool. It's just you still get to get your hands dirty and play on the tricycles, and the kids just get to look out over the water and grow things, and it's so great. It's so great. I thought you were going to talk about the Colorado Lagoon Project.
Yeah, I was, but I got sidetracked because I know I read your bio about that, and I want to bring that up because my mom worked there, and I went there as a kid too. But yeah. So talk about that project because it's a big taking on for sure.
It is amazing. And last night we had a virtual community meeting. We had almost 200 people online while the team was showing where this has come from, and I'll just detail for anybody who doesn't know, it's the Colorado Lagoon Open Channel Project. And the goal of this project is to really open up clean up the water quality. The water quality in Colorado Lagoon. If you were there in the 80s, you know what the water quality was like. It was
There
one
was
of the
no runoff
worst.
at that time, right? There was no runoff at all at that time, right?
No,
Yeah.
there was a small culvert, and it would go back and forth through the culvert, but I think it was so dirty they couldn't really get a lot of tidal differentiation. So this project, it's been going on for so long, and the Friends of Colorado Lagoon have really made such a difference for the last couple of decades in getting something like this done. So we're going from the worst water quality in Colorado Lagoon. We are now, grade A water quality, and this open channel project, which is going to literally make an open channel from Colorado Lagoon to Marine Stadium. It will be a waterway with it's basically kind of an open culvert, and it'll cut through the park. And hey, tidbit of information, just so you know, the Marina Vista Park, that used to all be water.
I did not
know. Did you know that?
Really? No, I did not know
that. Yes. So my field office is in the Conservation Corps building on Nieto and Colorado.
Yeah, right there.
Yes. So the conference room used to be the old boathouse. It was the old boathouse. And the 1932 Olympics, that was the boathouse that they would row out of. So the water went to the back of the field office. I have pictures at Long Beach Rowing Association that you can see where the water goes up that far.
Interesting.
Is that amazing?
Yeah. So when did they fill it in then? So
the park was built, Marina Vista Park was built under, I believe, council member, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, hold on. I gotta make sure that's right. But it was in the late 70s or 80s. And
really? I always remember that park though. I was going there to the Colorado Lagoon in the 80s, so.
It was amazing. So do you remember it must have been the 70s.
Yeah, I don't know. I always remember a park there. I always remember a park there. So, I did not know that. That's pretty cool. So that had been a pretty big project then. Huge project. And now I'm going to have to look back and get more details on that, because really part of Marina Vista Park, there's a lot of landfill, which has been difficult for the project itself. They dig down into the park and they're finding utilities that have to be, capped and removed, old utilities. So it is interesting to hear that that's kind of a fill. It's a park that's not, it wasn't there before. Wow. So the new project though, it's gonna have like canal and like a bridge for cars to go over. Is that how that's gonna work? I guess.
So Station 14 is at the intersection of Colorado and Elliott. Okay. If you were to go on Colorado, there's going to be a bridge basically over the open channel right next to Colorado Lagoon. It's going to be beautiful. And then for Elliott, right in front of Marine Stadium, where there's currently there was a bike path before the construction started, they're going to have another bridge. Now, these aren't bridges that are like this. It's very, very light elevation. It's not very much, but they are bridges. So we can have open water flow where actually wildlife and habitat can go into Colorado Lagoon. But people cannot row or kayak or go through the open channel.
That's what I asked you.
No, You
Okay.
can't do that. Yep. People can't go through to Colorado Lagoon. The preservation of habitat is the most important thing, and we can't have. But imagine having sea lions, and there was a sea lion probably 6 months ago in the Colorado Lagoon that they haven't seen for so
Wow.
long. It's
Sea lion in the
amazing.
Colorado Lagoon?
Yes. I have a video of it.
Wow. How did they get through at this point?
They went over the park. That's what I asked. I'm like, wait, the sea lion? I guess it's a sea lion. They're actually pretty quick on their
Oh, so
feet.
they
Now,
crawl through okay, wow, okay, cool.
so now I'm going to have to look that up because it's probably a seal that I'm talking about. But no, seals cannot really go on land very easily, but sea lions can. And there was a sea lion in Colorado Lagoon.
Interesting.
I'll
Wow.
have to send. I'll send you the video. It's pretty cool.
I'd love to see that. I did not know that. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool. But the sea lion
it's
was in there. So they probably had to go. I'm assuming they got the sea lion and brought them back to the.
no, because there's
Oh, so
food
he
in
went back.
there.
So
The
they went
water's
back on his own.
clean, and he
You're
probably
kidding
went
me.
back into Marine Stadium on his own. Yeah, isn't that
Wow.
amazing?
That is crazy. Obviously looking for food probably, and saw that
Yeah.
there probably wasn't any food there, so went back the other way.
Too many people taking pictures of him. He's like, oh,
I
I gotta
bet.
get out of here.
I forget, when is it estimated to be complete? I'm sure
Oh,
they changed it because of what you were talking about with the utilities and such, but
so there have been quite a few rain delays, but they are looking at January, this coming January, for having it open. Is that amazing?
that is amazing.
There are the bridges are formed, and they're moving. They have a lot of dirt to take out. Basically, I should say January of 2025, they're looking at having the roads open.
Mm.
And then the reseeding of the park, actual landscape development will take more time, and they're looking at that being, I think they said spring of 2025. So it's very exciting. It's a beautiful project, and many people, in fact, last night when we had the community meeting, people asked about the municipal band. So that was moved to Rec Park because of all the construction. And I know folks want it back at the Larry Curtis Park, and we'll push to get that back there because I think there'll be enough room, and that'll be exciting next summer when we have that.
Yeah, well, it's for me selfishly, a rec is right by me, so it's easier for me to even go there. But yeah, as far as the landscape and being next to the water, there's nothing that beats it to have the concert back by the
The
marine.
boats.
Yeah. Oh, the boats coming up. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And that just reminded me, you guys saved the summer movies on the beach
Yeah.
there.
Oh my gosh, really exciting to have the movies at the beach. They start July 9. I don't know what the first movie is. I don't think they had decided yet, but I know the mayor contributed, my office contributed, and they're going to have 2 of the movies at LBCC, but they're able to have most of their movies on the beach. So very exciting.
I think that's great. I know that a lot of people look forward to it. It's the summertime and the sun, and it's fun to go to the beach there, and then
Yep.
the Belmont Shores having the Stroll and Savers coming back as well, which I
Oh,
love.
of course, you're going to
Yeah,
be there, right?
I will. Oh yeah, I
Good.
will be there. I won't be there next week because I'm in Park City, but I will definitely be the one in July, and then in August, definitely. I really enjoy those quite a bit, especially when they have the food on the side there, and
Oh,
they get me every time because the nice smells are going on.
yeah. Oh no, and the bands.
Yeah.
Stroll and Savor is going to be fabulous. It'll be fabulous as always, and that'll be good. Okay, so you live near Anaheim and Rec Park. Are you familiar with the Rec Park band shell? Do you know what's going on there?
Well, I know it's an historic, you're talking about that historic area where they have the benches and stuff. I know it's a historic area, band shell, but I don't know if what you guys are gonna do with it, no.
Oh, it's amazing. There is a gentleman who started Friends of Rec Park Band Shell because he wants to have more music in a historic and beautiful, beautiful place. Steve Pruitt, he has done such a fantastic job of bringing in bands. Just last 2 weekends ago, he had Battle of the Bands, and it was for high schools to come, and he sets it all up for them. It's amazing. And then a fun theater, Shakespeare by the Sea. They are coming from San Pedro, and now they're coming to Long Beach, and they're opening later this month, like June 20. Or in my newsletter, I have all this. I don't have it all in my head.
I don't blame you, yeah. Lot going on, especially in your district.
Yeah. So that's exciting, but yeah, Stroll and Savor, gosh, so many things going on.
Well, what do you want your legacy to be when you're done here at District 3? What is it? What do you want it to look like for yourself?
You know what? When I first was elected, we each are on committees. So the mayor said, I want you to be the chair of the Climate, Environment, and Coastal Protection Committee. And I was like, really? That was not the committee I was thinking of, but okay, let me take this on. I have to tell you, that is one of the fun parts of this job. I have really been able to do some great things. I've learned so much. A couple of the things that I've done and I'm trying to push forward is the trash interceptor. We need that trash so basically my legacy, it's going to be about trash and water. Trash and water are my things. So the trash interceptor is in Marina del Rey in Bayona Creek. I contacted the company in Netherlands. They have come out 3 times, and they're looking at putting the trash interceptor not only in the LA River, but in the San Gabriel River. Think about that, to get the trash out of our water. And it's very exciting, and it's unbelievable, quite frankly, how much trash comes down those rivers, and we get the brunt of it, right?
Yeah.
It goes to our beaches. We really, other cities say with sewage spills and trash, they're like, oh, come over to South Bay because Long Beach, they had X happen, or their beaches have trash. Well, you know what? We're taking care of that, because we're going to get the trash interceptor, or, beach maintenance has great booms out there collecting trash. They do such an amazing job. People don't understand how much trash comes down, how much tonnage comes down the river every single day, especially when it's raining and after it's rained. So that's one of the things. Our water circulation in Alamitos Bay, now that the AES pumps are slowly being shut down, this is something I'm working on. The city has a plan for this, and we're working for funding, but we have to get this project set up so we can continue with water circulation in Alamitos Bay. Very important, and we know the import of it. Also, beach nourishment on Peninsula Beach. This is something that I can't believe how much I have learned about how they're having to move sand. And I've looked at pictures from early 1900s to see how Peninsula Beach was when it was connected to Seal Beach. There wasn't a jetty. It was literally a road going to Seal Beach. And you watch the pictures, and there's a little bit of beach, then there's a wide beach. We need to nourish our beaches like Orange County from Seal Beach down to Newport does. And so a great program that the mayor brought to all the council members. We got fellows who worked for us, and I have them still working for us. I have one young woman who is working so hard to figure out how Orange County is getting that sand. And so we're just working towards finding ways to help the big projects that we have having to do with our water, our ocean. So that's really important.
Mm.
And you know, I have great staff who they're so responsive, and though they're taking calls from folks who are, again, back to those priorities of public safety, homelessness, and infrastructure. They're taking those calls and making sure they're coordinating Public Works or the Marine Bureau or any department that in the city that can help people. You know, the Go Long Beach app is amazing. Have you used that? Have you used the Go Long Beach app?
I have not. No. Tell me
Oh, you gotta get that app.
Yeah.
You can report trees are down. You can report graffiti. You can report, oh my gosh, pull that app up, and
Okay.
we ask people to really use that for even potholes. You can take a picture, upload it, it goes to Public Works, and then they're able to send staff out to take care of the issue. So Go Long Beach.
Okay, I'll actually tell my stepdad will love that. He lives in Alamitos Heights, and he
Yes.
that. Yeah, you guys are doing a big project on their street right now.
Flint?
On Flint. Yep, they're on Flint.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flint, it's good. It was time for Flint to get that repave and get refreshed. So good. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
If your dad's called into my office, I don't know.
I don't know. Any other projects that you want work on that you want us to know about?
Well, yes. So I'm the chair of the Los Cerritos Wetlands Authority, and we are in the final stages of doing a land exchange with Synergy and Los Cerritos Wetlands, and it's amazing. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to hear more about the final, when this deal is finished, and it's going to be the start of 500 acres of wetlands being conserved. This is 155 of the 500 that we have right in our own backyard. And because the oil wells are there, the tanks are there, those empty tanks, people don't realize those are wetlands behind the In-N-Out, you know? They're absolutely beautiful. Steam Shovel Slough, where you can take tours in kayaks. Have you ever done that?
Is that through the canal there, through kind of like by Loins Drive there?
It is.
Okay, no, I've not done that, but I would love to. Yeah.
I'll tell you, this is a great start to people understanding more about the wetlands. We have Zedler Marsh, which is kind of up Westminster on the border of Orange County and LA County. And there's some amazing classes and walks, bird watches, and just wetlands walks that people can take on the weekend. And we want to extend that as we conserve more of the wetlands, because just behind Trader Joe's, Shopkeeper Road, all of that is wetlands. And the goal is to really make that a place where people can walk, and we can continue to keep the habitat there safe and growing and cap those wells. And there are all plans in place. And I will say it's a good start with what's happening with the first 155 acres.
Yeah. That just reminded me real quick. Isn't there going to be a project across the street from Trader Joe's behind PCH and Second? Isn't that going to become residential?
Yes,
Okay.
there are actually 3 developments, Ani Group, Holland, and Carmel Partners. So it's basically the three corners of Studebaker and PCH. So there are going to be, over the next probably 3 to 6 years, there's going to be developments going in there. About 1,250 apartment units, high end. It's going to be beautiful, but as a result of that, that's going to increase traffic. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I'm working with Assemblyman Lowenthal and Assemblymember Lowenthal and Senator Gonzalez is we have to look at working more with Caltrans for the 2nd and PCH intersection. And we are moving forward. We started a task force with Caltrans, and now there's such a better connection with the city of Long Beach and Caltrans, because, you know, Caltrans is all of PCH, all through the city. And with 2nd and PCH as the highest traveled intersection in the city, because it's the in and out of Long Beach, they have put they're just recently put a part in called a metronome on Marina Drive. And they're going to sync those up, the city on Marina Drive and Caltrans at PCH. And we're going to really work on getting that traffic flow better, especially when you're going over that Davies Bridge, trying to get to the freeway. You don't want to be stuck on the bridge, like in traffic. So it's something that I've really been working on, because people are concerned. I'm concerned. I don't want to be stuck watching 4 different cycles of lights when I'm sitting there trying to get home or go to the freeway, right?
Yeah, yeah. That area, and then also is congested. I don't know if there's much you can do about that, is off the 7th Street next to Long Beach State going into the freeway. You know, that I don't know if there's much to do there, because that's very congested.
So again, that's Caltrans. And I'm really happy that Assemblymember Lowenthal and we made that task force so the city has, they're really working with Caltrans more, our traffic engineers, and there are some solutions that they're trying to come up with, because 7th Street is very congested too.
Absolutely. Well, this has been so great. I know you got to get going, so I just want to end with a real fun question. Where's some of your favorite places to eat in Long Beach?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. So I'm always going to say George's Greek Cafe, because I'm 2 blocks from there and I'm always going there. George's, Taco Shore, Nico's, Marlena is a new one that's beautiful.
Where's Marlena? Where's that?
Naples Plaza. Naples Plaza Drive. Yeah.
What did it? It used to be another Italian restaurant, didn't it? What it was before? Do you remember?
It was Russo's.
Yes, yes, I've been to Russo. Yep. Okay, so it took it over. Okay.
It's a beautiful place it's pretty much all outdoors, beautiful bar, and it's just different than a lot of different other places. But my husband and I have been going to Casey Brannigan's that's kind of our we want to get away for an hour. We go to Casey Brannigan's. Yeah, it's nice to have a place that we love and can meet our friends. And on 2nd Street, Louis is open and wonderful. El Antica, the new restaurant, the new pizza place.
I haven't been there yet.
Amazing.
That's probably Wells Fargo, right?
Yes, yes. Really so impressive and such a fun atmosphere. Like, it reminds me of New York. Like, when you walk in, it's great. I don't want to miss anyone who I love. Roe Seafood.
Yep.
Oh, so good. Can you tell I eat out a lot?
Roe is because, as you know, being in Belmont Shore so long, that area, that restaurant, that area, they couldn't find anything that would last. You know, they'd go to different restaurant, and then Roe came in with their formula, and not only they brought in their formula, they have a takeout place now. So
it's their little seafood market, and I'll tell you, I used to ask for, you could have a pot of clam chowder. I remember I always used to do that for book club that you can take home, and it's just so good. So good. And I love the staff there, and it's really fun. Really fun.
Right on. Well, thanks again for your time. I really enjoyed talking with you and hearing like kind of the inside story of what's going on in District 3. So, Kristina, thanks again for all that you shared with me and your time. I know you're really, really busy. I think this is like your fourth or fifth meeting of the day. So thanks again.
I so enjoyed talking with you, sharing things. And I think I have a couple things I'm going to send to you too. So thank you so much for inviting me on.
Very cool. Well, it's been a Long Beach thing.